Namaste and welcome back to Awakened Heart Yoga. My name is Premaloka. Thanks for joining me today. Today I have another sequence in our Shine Bright series, and I'm going to ask you to come to sit on the mat. If it's comfortable to sit in Sukhasana, easy pose with the heels lined up, I'm going to ask you to do so. If it's not, just relax in a cross-legged position if you can. If you need to, then please feel free to grab some cushions to place under the knees if that's more comfortable for you, because we'll be here for a few minutes. So I'm going to ask you to close the eyes, settle the body and come to your breath. I'm going to move straight into it. Breathing deeply in and out through the nostrils. The arms are relaxed if it's comfortable on the knees, the thumb and forefinger in Chin Mudra. Tuck the chin in towards the pit of the throat, lengthen through the back of the neck. On an inhalation, let the crown of the head float a little higher towards the sky. Draw the navel in to engage the abdominal muscles and help you to sit still, effortlessly. Ask you to bring your breath awareness to Manipura. This is the chakra in between the navel and the spine, and the color of this, the energetic color, is yellow. So if it comes easily, visualize a sphere of yellow rotating in between the navel and the spine. If it doesn't, just know that it's there. Visualize, see or imagine that it's there. Draw the prana, the energy, the breath in through the navel. Draw it back to the sphere of yellow and then direct it back out from the navel. So you're just inhaling and exhaling via the navel. That's where the breath enters the body. Swell the belly, full deep inhalation. Exhale, draw the navel back towards the spine. Draw the prana into the sphere of yellow and out again. In and out. Just doing this for the next few breaths. Go of this after the next exhalation. Letting go of the visualization, the complete focus of the breath entering and leaving the body at the navel. Remain aware of the breath. Turn the hands, palms down onto the knees. Draw up a little bit more length to the spine, the navel's engaged. And the hands just are loose, and we're simply going to inhale, draw the shoulders up towards the earlobes, exhale and release. The hands just move spontaneously. Inhale, exhale. As you breathe in, push the shoulders up, you should feel a release, a little bit of a stretch to the muscles on either side of the spine. At the lumbar area, exhale, release. Inhale, draw the navel into the spine, exhale, release. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, really exaggerated as if you're trying to touch the earlobes to the shoulders, exhale. And then we're just going to do a few dynamics. So the shoulders are just going to move dynamically up and down in shrugs. If it feels that you want to move slower at home, please do so. holding onto the knees, we're just going to move into a few shoulder rotations. So before we do, with a grip to the knees, inhale and lengthen a little bit more height to the spine, the navel's drawn in. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears, ease off on the grip on the knees. Inhale, draw the shoulders all the way up to the earlobes. Exhale, as you do, push all the way back and the hands just move spontaneously. Inhale. Exhale, back and around. That's 3 in a backwards direction. And now we're going to move forward. Inhale, draw the shoulders all the way up. Push forward. Feel a deep concaving through the chest. The collarbones hollow out and drop down. Exhale and up. Once again, the hands just move spontaneously on the knees. I'm going to ask you to move your focus to your torso now. We're going to do a few torso rotations. Draw the navel in. Just take an inhalation and an exhalation. As you inhale, swell the belly. As you exhale, draw the navel back. And then for your next inhalation, and you feel free to hold on to the knees, we're going to sway over towards the left knee. And then sway forward. Move all the way over to the right. And then as we come back, I'm going to hold on to my knees, hollow out through the belly, and come fully around in this circle. Now, depending on how you feel today is how big the circles are and how fast. You may feel that you want to go really slow. How further back you go is how much you're engaging with your abdominal muscles. Draw the navel in, come all the way around. Or you may feel today that moving that little bit more dynamically, getting a rhythm going, is what best suits you. How far you come down is up to you also. How far you come down and how far you come back. And you'll feel the difference in your abdominal muscles. And then on the next forward motion, pause. Press into the knees and the thighs. Draw the head down a little. And then swoop over to the other side. And we're going to move in the opposite direction. Have an awareness of how many you're doing to each side. One more. Once again, pause, lower the head a little, push into the knees. Feel the knees flatten a little further towards the floor. Draw the navel in and come all the way back up to upright. Before we move on, we're going to come down and do a little breath work and a little forward bend. If you find that it is uncomfortable and difficult for you within the hip area or the spine to come all the way down to rest with your head on your hands, then grab a couple of cushions from wherever you are or something, some folded blankets, so that you don't have to drop down as high. But I'm going to ask you to inhale, pivot forward from the hips, leading with the chest, and come down to rest your forehead on your stacked fists. Once you're down and your forehead is resting on the stacked fists, I'm going to ask you to breathe in and out abdominally. A focus back to the navel and Manipura. When you breathe out, push the belly out. When you breathe in, draw the navel in. I'm going to ask you to do this counting backwards from 10. There's a little bit of rain coming down on the sunroom roof, so I'm going to have to speak just a little louder. So we're doing these 10 deep belly inhalations and exhalations. And letting go of this after the next exhalation. Don't worry at all if you didn't come to 10. That was just the number we were working towards to count backwards from. Draw the navel in, come all the way up again. And lean back a little, hands on the knees, and release the legs out to the sides. Once again, we're going to connect with our sit bones. So you can either pull the fleshy bits of the buttocks out, or I like to draw the navel in, place my hands down, lift up, and lower down, and now I feel connected with my sit bones and the mat. Draw the navel in, drop the shoulders down away from the ears. There's nice length to the spine. Take an inhalation and an exhalation sitting tall. We're just going to move into a few little side bends. So we're going to start with sweeping the hands all the way up to the sides and raising the hands and the gaze to the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we're going to sweep the left hand down and over towards the right thigh, and the right hand floats down towards the left foot. We rotate the waist or revolve it up towards the sky. Only take hold of the toes if that feels comfortable. Draw down. Sit bones are connected to the floor. Exhale. Hold. And then we're going to come up. Inhale. All the way up. And we're going to come to the opposite side. Exhale, the left hand comes over as the right hand comes down towards the left thigh. Once again, we're looking for the toes on the right foot. You know, you may only come to mid-ear, and that's perfectly all right. Then you'll just rest there. You will still revolve the torso around towards the sky, and you'll bring your gaze up under the armpit. Hold and breathe, draw down. Sit bones connected with the floor. And inhale, we're going to come all the way up. And exhale and release. And I'm going to ask you to lean back a little and draw the heels in towards you and bring the feet all the way in together. We'll move into a little Tataliasana, the butterfly pose. Interlace the fingers, clasp them around the toes. Draw down with the feet and the knees, a little bit of pressure. Push down towards the mat. Heels in towards the buttocks, tall through the spine, open through the chest and the collarbones, and then moving the legs up and down. Just slowly like a butterfly, not fast like a bee or a fly. And as we come up and down, feel the opening, stretching through the adductor muscles, opening through the hip flexors. Draw in through the navel. A little bit of openness to the hips. And then release. And I'm going to ask you to stretch the right leg out long and prepare for Janu Shirshasana, and pop the left heel in towards the groin. We're going to come into Janu Shirshasana, which is a forward bend. It's as well as stretching the hamstrings, opening up the hip flexors, working well to massage the abdominal muscles. It stretches the hams, actually I might have said that, stretches the hamstrings as well. But if you like this but would like to go a little bit further or try something different, then I'm going to give you the option also of going into Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana, which is very similar except that we lift the heel up and we place it at the hip bone, and then we have the added pressure. We go with a deeper, more intense massage into the abdominal cavity, and we work the adrenals that little bit more. So if it feels like that you'd like to do that, there's also a little bit more of a stretch you'll find in your hamstrings, then you have that option. It's up to you. So we're just going to sweep the arms up alongside the ears on an inhalation, and we're going to walk a little bit forward as we walk the sit bones back, and we pivot from the hips and come down into this forward bend. Now just come down where it feels comfortable for you. That may be hands on the floor and head bent, or you may find that you come all the way down. If you feel that you have the flexibility to come all the way down, the openness in the hips, the length in the hamstrings and the gastrocnemius, then come down. You can hook your ring finger and, your index finger and thumb around your big toe, create another mudra at the pressure point there, and draw down. Soften the body over the leg. Send the breath to where it's needed. Inhale, exhale, send the breath through the hamstrings, the calves, into the hip flexors, the adductor muscles, maybe all the way up into the glutes. Soften with each breath over the leg. And then inhale. Extend a little further, and exhale, draw the navel in and come all the way up. We're going to inhale, arms out to the sides, and exhale, we're going to pivot and come around into the twist. If you were in Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana, then you'll do exactly the same thing. Your hip will be here, your foot, on your hip, and you'll do exactly the same thing. Looking out over the shoulder. If you want to go, if you're in Ardha Padma and you want to go into a little bit of a deeper twist, then take the left hand back and take hold of the left toes. We would still keep the back of the right hand at the back of the left knee. Draw the navel into the spine. The breath travels up and down the spine. Inhale and exhale, and then release off. Come floating all the way back, arms out wide and hands down by the sides. Just pop the heel back up, no matter which pose you're in. Tuck the heel in towards the groin, lengthen, and then lean forward. Take hold of the right foot, either pop it up into the groin or onto the hip, whichever feels comfortable for you. And we'll go forward. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, come all the way down, or down to where it's comfortable, and hold. Send the breath to where it's needed the most. Draw the navel into the spine. If it feels comfortable, take hold of the big toe. This is if you've been doing yoga for a good while, or have this flexibility in the hips and length in the hamstrings. Most of us don't, and we'll just come to rest and breathe deep. You don't push yourself to do something that isn't comfortable. Send the breath to where it's needed and simply lengthen and soften. deep inhalation and engage a little further, and then exhale, walk the hands all the way back up, and we're going to go into our twist. Inhale, arms out to the side, exhale, pivot all the way around, and bring the right hand in along the spine. The left hand is at the back of the right knee. It's our fulcrum and our anchor. Our navel is drawn in, our spine is tall. The chin is in neutral, and we look out over the shoulder. Feels comfortable when you're in Ardha Padma as I am, and you want to extend, simply draw the right hand around, take hold of the right toe, nice firm grip, and we either place the back of the hand back at the knee, or often I will just ease just a little bit of gentle pressure down on my right thigh. Draw the navel in, inhale and exhale. One more and extend. And then as you exhale, release all the way, arms back to the shoulders, and then pop the knee up. Take hold, hug it in, make sure that the hip is aligned once again, and stretch the legs out long. And we're almost finished. After stretching the hips out long, I'm just going to ask you to draw the heels in, all the way into the buttocks. Wrap the hands tightly around the shins and calves, and just drop the chin down to rest on the knees. You should feel firm pressure in the belly. Close the eyes. Take a few deep inhalations and exhalations here. Feel a nice stretch within the shoulders and the back at the same time as we massage the belly. And then release. And just drop the knees and come back to sitting comfortably cross-legged. And we'll just finish with a little pranayama. So the spine is straight, ease the shoulders away from the ears, the eyes are closed. Bring your awareness simply to the sound of your inhalation and your exhalation. Settle the body. The exhalation settles over the outside edges of the body, bringing it to stillness. Feels relaxed but still. The breath is deep and rhythmic. Restrict the glottis slightly, thicken through the walls of the throat, move into the Ujjayi breath. The breath enters and leaves the body at the pit of the throat. Inhaling and exhaling deeply now. 10 full Ujjayi breaths from now. Now, preparing to just ease back into your natural breath. Breathing in and out. Let the breath be natural and spontaneous now. Send the breath back to the body, reawakening the physical body. If you have time, I'd ask you to spend a little bit more time in pranayama. Either do one of my Nidra videos or the pranayams I have uploaded separately. But if not, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.